This is just a very short video to clarify a few points about what we used to call medical or surgical face masks, although the surgical connection has by now become pretty negligible. It seems there's a notion going around the internet that wearing face masks has always been a normal part of everyday life in Taiwan. That's understandable. Today, a couple of years on from when it was still actually mandatory to wear face masks in public, we still see many people, most people in some circumstances, wearing them. And we still see them just about everywhere we go in public. However, this notion is a long way from the truth. In reality, as you can see from this 1994 photo, just like crash helmets, which was still not compulsory at that time, face masks were few and far between, even in the midst of Taipei's air pollution, which was considerably worse then than it is now. At the time this photo was taken, there was only one metro line operating in Taipei, no electric vehicles, and the vast majority of motorcycles were highly polluting two-strokes. I was one of the few who actually did wear a mask whenever I rode a motorcycle in any urban district in Taiwan, and I can tell you, one question I was frequently asked in those days was, "Why are you wearing a face mask?" It seemed to me that the reason for wearing a face mask could not be more obvious. But in fact, many people actually seemed offended by the idea of a foreigner wearing a mask, as if it was a kind of criticism, and they almost took it personally. Well, it's not that bad, would have been one typical response. Later, as more and more Taiwanese travelled abroad and discovered that it was indeed that bad, this question became less frequent. But face masks didn't become significantly more common until well on into the COVID pandemic, when they finally became mandatory in all public places. So, why are so many people still wearing them today? And when will they finally come off? I have no answer to that question other than to say that Taiwanese are creatures of habit to a greater extent than most people. But I do remember hearing news media reports discussing this strange reluctance to take off face masks shortly after they ceased to be mandatory, in which many people claimed they felt naked without face masks. I also remember talking to my wife about this weird situation at the time. Her opinion was that as soon as more than about 60–65% of people no longer wore masks in public, then, very quickly, almost nobody would wear them, except those who really needed to. I expected that to happen in a matter of days, but it seems to me we still haven't quite got there. So, even though feeling naked without a face mask can hardly be described as psychologically normal, wearing face masks in public does seem to have become a part of the so-called new normal in Taiwan. But it definitely was not a part of the old normal. Thanks for watching.